Hey.
Hey.
It's us.
Hey. There it is. So what we're reviewing today is the Sawyer S2. We received this product from the Sawyer company. This is a filtration device that filters out all of these listed items here: bacteria, protozoa, chemicals, pesticides, and I guess their claim to fame on this one is it has viruses as well, which these Sawyer Minis and the Sawyer Squeezes don't do viruses. So it's kind of a little extra virus protection. Just gonna go over some of the specs first. What did we say? First of all, this price point is about $79.99 on Amazon, so it's around an $80 price point. Filters up to, it's got 800 uses, and I guess that comes out to about 9 to 10 cents per use, and it gets you 20 ounces of water each time.
And for comparison, price point on the Mini?
Oh, the Mini is $19.97.
20 bucks, yeah, 20 bucks, and the Squeeze I think is like 30 or 35 or something like that. But it does come with, hold some of these for me. So it comes with a Sawyer micro squeeze that you put on the top, and there's like a sponge membrane inside. It's got your big particulate filter here that you can take off, and then it's got a sponge filter in there. I guess that's where the magic happens with the filtering out the viruses. So first impressions, it's kind of heavy. It's just under a pound, so it's definitely not for ultralight backpacking, anything like that. If you guys are trying to go ultralight or you're trying to pack your pack really small, this thing is probably about the size of my hammock or tarp setup, and it's pretty hefty. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use it on this little stagnant pond over here. Mr. Adrian's gonna go get a cup of water and see how dirty and disgusting this water is in this cup. So I'm just going to go over some more factoids with you while he's doing that. Removal rates removes 99.99999% of bacteria, protozoa, cysts, and 99.999% of viruses. So I guess if you're going somewhere with like out of the country, we don't really have to worry about it too much in the United States. Go ahead and get a shot of that.
Take a look at that. That is
Oh, you can really see the floating particles in that shot.
So this is just this is a puddle of stagnant rainwater. Usually this is a few feet deeper, Phil was pointing out earlier. And yeah, we're down to reduced to this scummy puddle. So that's what we're going to try to filter out today. Now, it is worth mentioning that we tried this earlier, and we'll probably throw up something about the video we tried earlier. But the instructions seem pretty simple, but there's a couple things that we kind of noted that we did wrong. This step right here, making sure you're squeezing it and all that, you got to really squeeze that thing. Like, don't do it lightly. Like, make that water move through the sponges.
So we'll just go ahead and go through the steps. Step 1, unscrew this top, fill it up with water. Step 2, you want to massage it for about 10 seconds, and then step 3, you turn it over and then filter it into your clean vessel. So we're going to go ahead and start with step 1. So I will have you hold this, my dear.
Oh, thank you, sir.
And come on over. Get over here. So we found the easiest way to do it is to squeeze it and then put it in the water, and it'll kind of suck the water up into the sponge and the membrane. And you want to do that a couple times. Do it one more time. Get it good and saturated. Okay.
Yahtzee!
Hey!
Yay!
Alright, so the next step would be, and you want to be careful because it's kind of hard to fill this thing up without getting stuff all over the outside of it.
Yeah,
Which
and
could be dangerous and hazardous to your
health. If you looked up anything about water filtration in situations like this, you want to really limit how much of the dirty water is getting on your vessel that you're just going to carry your clean water, because it can just as easily contaminate it.
See, because now I have to use the dirty water to pop the cap, so if you want to go ahead and pop the cap with your clean hands.
My hands are clean.
Alright, so now we're going to massage. Step 2, massage for 10 seconds. So
make sure you really make that water swish.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so 10 seconds. So now we're going to go ahead and fill this bottle up here if you want to come in close. Now we're not really looking for clarity of or the color of the water, because usually that's kind of irrelevant. Ooh, hey.
It's ready to come out.
It's ready to come out. So I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze this in. You just want to make sure all the particulate and stuff is out of the water. Oh, it actually looks really good.
Yeah. So yeah, we definitely, like I
it
said,
wrong.
we did this before, and we definitely did it wrong because we got some crazy results. So make sure you're really switching that water around in the sponges.
Yeah. So
yeah, check out that difference there. So
yeah, that's pretty good. The flow rate isn't the best on this thing. It kind of takes some oomph and some chutzpah to get the water out, because my forearms are burning right now trying to get all this stuff out. I'm not the strongest person in the world. Most of the people in the hiker community aren't really bodybuilders. So if this is marketed towards those kind of people, it does take my forearms are burning. But yeah, so it's pretty clear. I would trust it, I would say, but there's a lot of negatives to it, like I mentioned earlier, about it being kind of heavy. And even after, if you don't get all the water out of it, you can squeeze it as much as you want, but that sponge still stays kind of saturated, so that makes it even heavier. So when you put it back in your pack, it's pretty heavy. Let's say this is right now pushing almost 2 pounds with the way. And it's just big and bulky, and the price point isn't something that I would look for. It's something is just, if you're going to do viruses, you can just boil your water and do other stuff. But it's a good product. It's solidly made. Any thoughts, inputs?
If I were to recommend this to a person, I would recommend it as something to keep in your car, like for a car survival kit.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when it comes down to it, the Sawyer Mini is great, but if you're in a, in a stickier situation than us being out here, you might want this because again, it removes pesticides and viruses and chemicals, which is the Sawyer Minis don't do viruses. Most filters don't. So
yeah, so that's the main claim to fame of this one. And there's always, there's other options out there for getting rid of viruses. You can boil, you can use the Aqua Mirror tabs and all that, the UV SteriPens or whatever. But the only problem is if you're boiling your water, then you got to wait for your water to cool down, or you're drinking hot water. I guess this is just a nice, cool drink of water that's is going to be virus-free. So in that aspect, like Adrian said, car camping or just having in your car or in your home for a bug-out hurricane situation. We just had those hurricanes blow through this past year, so yeah. I would definitely have it. If you were to have it in your house, I wouldn't really take this on a backpacking trip, and maybe that's what they're really marketing it towards. So I'll give this one a thumbs up, but we'll give it like a half thumb, I'd say, like a swing on the upward. Just you have to find out what the niche is.
Maybe a thumb and a half.
Yeah, like a.
But like one thumb up, one half.
Like a hitchhiker's thumb.
Yeah.
I don't have it, but.
Phil, what you got, Phil?
What do you think?
Yeah, so if it's me, for most of my purposes, I'm going to go with the Sawyer Mini. We trust and we've used that product for years. Now, I don't mind a slightly heavier pack. I'm definitely not the ultralight type guy, but they could actually make this backpack friendly if right here under the seal, if they just put some kind of like a plastic tab like you see on some of the water bottles, where they had a loop here so you could just run a carabiner through there and attach it to the outside of your backpack, that would make me consider it. But I'd still take the Mini or the Life Straw. So
yeah, I would do Mini or Squeeze all day long over this. And like I said, maybe it's just dependent on the application, like what you're using it for.
Yeah, maybe if we're traveling overseas or going to Haiti or Africa, places like that.
Yeah.
Because here in the States, we generally don't really have an issue with viruses in our water supply.
Not typically, but
we have pretty clean water here, so the filters it's pretty easy for the filters here. But yeah, going overseas in other countries and things like that, this might be something more like. I actually sent the very first Sawyer filter I had, the very first Sawyer line filter, I sent it on a mission trip to Ethiopia, and the person who took it with them loved it, and it worked for them very, very well out there. And I actually still have it. it's like a 5 million gallon something crazy, or million gallon filter. So Sawyer they just make great products, period.
Yeah, good.
So we love the Minis. We've got a couple more products to show you guys from them as far as filtration goes. We're pretty excited to keep going.
Yeah, so this one's in the books. 80 bucks. They have it on Amazon. You can buy it on Sawyer. I don't know what the website is, sawyerproducts.com, something like that.
We should probably know that.
Yeah, we should. Sorry, we'll annotate it somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our review. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you coming.